Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to one of our weekly Komi Can't Communicate discussion videos. Today we're here talking all about episode 8. It's just the Oban plus more. But before we get to the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AnyTube know that you're here, boop that up snoot, which means hit the like button if you didn't know, and be sure to join our Discord. If you want to talk with people who like stuff like anime, manga, video games, etc., go ahead and check us out over on Discord, link in the description. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this week's video, shall we? And this video is pretty much going to be split into 3 parts, as with most Komi-san videos. It seems to be like 3-part stories. So the first part, we're going to be talking about Komi visiting her extended family. Then we're going to be talking about the festival. Then we're going to be talking a little bit about the cram session, although there's not a lot to say there. But I do want to talk about Komi visiting her family because they are quite the bunch, quite the interesting bunch. Ryoko is her mom, is Komi's mom, Shuko's sister, and then I believe either Sadayoshi is, I believe Sadayoshi's her uncle, but I don't know if that's Ryoko's like husband or if that's just their sibling. Right, so I wasn't sure about that particularly, but I do know that Sadayoshi is a lot like Masayoshi, which is Komi's dad, and there is like pressure there, but they do seemingly get along pretty well. And we see Akira as well, who is sort of like a younger, more forward version of Komi, and Komi is trying to be friendly, kind of failing, but for the most part also kind of succeeding, since Akira and her sort of have tried to get along in the past, but Komi, she hasn't really broken out of her shell at that point, back when Akira last saw her, right? She hadn't really met Tadano and everybody yet, so she was still really shy and not sure how to communicate. She's getting better at communicating, but it's not quite there. So Akira this week sort of sees Komi for the first time break out of her shell, and I think that that's really sweet. Akira being, by the way, Ryoko's daughter. And she's like, she asks Komi in this really sweet scene if Komi wants to play a board game, and Komi's like, yeah, sure, right? Like, she doesn't say yeah, sure, but she's like, right? Like, just nods her head like, yeah, absolutely. And then Akira starts crying, and of course Komi's like, what did I do? But Akira starts crying because when she last saw Komi seemed very like against hanging out with her, but we know that that's not the case. We know that Komi's actually very sweet. It's just she can't really communicate, so it seems like she's being standoffish when she's really not. So Komi ends up actually playing this board game with Akira, and they actually have a really nice time. However, that then leads to Shuko telling Komi to make sure that she goes and talks to Yuiko. Now, Yuiko is the grandmother, and she is pretty strict. When we see her, she just sort of gives like a, hello, how are you? Meanwhile, Shuko's like, Mom, it's so good to see you. It's been forever, right? Like, she's really excited to see her mom, but like the mom's just like, yes, it's good to see you too. Come on inside. Right? Like, very simple, not really wanting to play games in quite the way that Shuko does. Shuko and Ryoko, you could definitely tell they're siblings. Like, they're very loud and bombastic, yet Yuiko, not that way. Yuiko's very stoic, right? Like, very strict, it would seem. Apparently even yelling at Masayoshi over something. Now, you guys know how I feel about Masayoshi. Masayoshi is absolutely like Komi's dad, though. By the way, thank you guys for filling last week's comments with Komi's dad, though. But Komi's dad, though, he's pretty great. So I was shocked to see that Masayoshi got yelled at by Yuiko. Now, I'm going to speculate that she probably yelled at him to be more confident in himself, right? Or like speak more to Shuko. I'm not entirely sure what she could have yelled at him over, but whatever it was bad. He actually looked pretty upset. But Yuiko then tells Komi to come inside. So Komi, she walks in and Komi sits down and sits across from Yuiko. And there's this awkward pause, and I'm like, what's about to happen? And then Yuiko just starts by being like, are you feeling okay? Komi's like, yeah, I'm fine. Right? Like, just, yep. Like, just sort of nods, and then she's like, school's going well? Yep. You're happy? Yep. And then there's this pause. Then Yuiko almost reluctantly asks, like, have you made any friends? And Komi, like, smiles and goes, yeah. Like, kind of nods, right? And Yumiko, like, lets out this sigh of, like, oh, okay, good. And she's relieved, and she, like, kind of motions Komi to come a little closer, and she, like, kind of pats her lap. And Komi, like, just kind of lays down on her grandmother's lap, and just kind of, like, the grandmother just kind of pats her head and just tells her that she's really proud of her and that she's really happy that she actually managed to find friends. And it was a genuinely very sweet moment, because it shows that, like, the grandmother's strict, but she's not, like, cold, right? Like, she just wants the best for her family. And then she also immediately figures out about Tadano and was not happy about it, because she's like, have you met anyone significant? Like, have you met any boys? She's like, uh-oh. And then she's like, give me your phone. And then, who the hell is Tadano Hitohito? I do not approve. And I'm like, oh, you better approve, because that's my ship right there. Yeah, that's my ship right there. Like, old lady, you better, Oba-san, you better friggin', ooh, you better approve. But yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, anyway. That's the meeting with the family. Komi's family is a very interesting bunch, I will say that, especially meeting, like, her extended family. I kind of get the idea of how she ended up the way that she is, but we do actually end up moving from this scene over to the festival, and we find out that Komi and Tadano look absolutely great in yukatas. They both look super great. I was like, dang, my ship cleans up good. And then Najimi shows up. About 1,000 people overbooked for the festival. And Tadano's like, there's no way that's true. And yet, it is. Because there's, like, a whole group walking behind Najimi. And Komi and Tadano end up joining the group because they're also part of Najimi's, like, friend circle. So they just kind of follow Najimi around the festival. And we see that eventually Komi and Tadano sort of split off from the rest of the group. And we actually get another funny scene with Yadano, like, doing another showdown. We also get Nakanaka showing up again using her powers. But yeah, it's like we get to see, like, many side characters show up and kind of do their thing during the festival. It's really funny. But to me, there's, like, something really interesting about the way that the festival plays out. We do see that Najimi is into gambling a bit, because we see, like, the whole, like, the scene with the rope. We also get a JoJo's reference in there with the granny, like, muda muda muda, and then she does, like, JoJo poses. It was very strange. But the other one is Najimi's playing Squid Game. He's technically playing the cookie cutting game, but, like, dog. You know what I mean? Like Komi might have. I don't think they did it on purpose, at least not in the manga, but the anime was very clearly kind of nodding, like, Squid Game, though. You know what I mean? I was like, it's Squid Game, oh shit! And Najimi don't quite have that Gihun look, you know? So there's that. But Najimi really goes, like, above and beyond for these fools, like, a lot. And the reason why I say that is because Najimi is constantly, I don't know if anybody else notices this, but Najimi will, like, be there. Najimi's definitely, like, Tadano is Komi's, like, first friend, but he's also, like, Komi's probably likely partner in crime, like, forever. Whereas Najimi's, like, her first friend, right? Like, her first friend who is only a friend. Whereas Tadano's her first friend who's also her love interest. Whereas Najimi's just her first friend, right? And Najimi, I will say, constantly shoves these two together, and I don't know if it's just me noticing that, but I feel like all the time Najimi's just like, if you two don't just, like, Najimi's about as impatient as we are, where it's like, how long is this going to take? Like, when are they just gonna get together? So Najimi's just like, hey, I'll be right back, and Najimi runs off, I believe probably to go get more to play the cookie game again, but also he's like, oh, if I leave these two alone, they're gonna have to talk by themselves, so I'm gonna bolt. So Najimi bolts. And we find out that earlier in the episode, when Tadano points out that Komi's yukata looked really beautiful, and that she looked great in it, Komi wanted to say, you look nice too, but couldn't. So she spends most of the episode just going, ta, 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 ta. And Tadano's like, what is happening? Right? Even he's kind of having trouble deciphering it, but she ends up saying, Tadano, you look nice too. And I was like, oh. Like, anytime Komi actually speaks, like, without having to the crutch of, like, writing it down, when she actually talks, it's usually just to Tadano, and it's always super cute. And Tadano essentially explodes because it was so adorable. And then we get this scene later where they're sort of sitting by themselves, and Tadano says, "I bet you were really happy when the others showed up, right?" And Komi writes down in the sand, like, it was actually really fun just hanging out, just the two of us as well. But then she gets nervous and erases it, and I'm like, no, Komi, just tell him. But, you know, of course not. Also, Yamai being Yabai again, just like being real weird with the hot dog. Again, Najimi coming into the rescue just to be like, nope, you're not going to be weird to Komi. You're not going to ruin this for Tadano. Nope. Just eats the hot dog so that, you know, Yamai can't see Komi doing what... You know what she was planning to see her do. It was weird. I was like, no, stop it. Don't lewd. Like, Yamai absolutely breaking the cardinal rule of this show, which is do not lewd Komi. You know what I mean? Only Tadano may have lewd thoughts of Komi, and that is it. The rest of us, no. Komi is to be protected. So, there's that. And then, the cram session. The cram session, again, it's like, why is Yamai here? Like, Yamai, again... Yamai is really funny, because when she shows up, you're like, God damn it! Like, every time she shows up, you laugh, because you're like, oh my god! How many places is this chick gonna be? Like, when she catches the door, like, oh, Komi is going into Tadano's house, huh? And it's like, get out of here, you creepy! Ah! Like, why are you so creepy? But, yeah, that's the thing. So Yamai shows up at Tadano's house, and I'm like, you did kidnap and try to kill the guy. It's a bit weird. But then you find out that the reason why they're even there is because Najimi hasn't even started their school work over the summer, which, by the way, maybe this is like I don't know if this is a Canadian thing or not, but we didn't have schoolwork over the summer to do. I see this in anime all the time. I don't know if this is strictly a Japan thing, but work over the summer was, like, not common. Like, if you failed a class, then yeah, you'd have to take summer school in order to make up for it. But you didn't, like, have homework to do over the summer. Unless I'm, like, maybe that was just me, but that never happened to me. In the entirety of me being, in my entire, like, academic career, I don't remember ever having to take schoolwork home with me. So I would be curious if that's just, like, strictly a Japan thing, or if that's, like, other countries do that as well. I don't super know. But yeah, I never had work brought home with me. Although, to be fair, if I did, I'd likely be like Najimi and Tadano, because I never did my homework, to be fair. So I probably just would not have done it. And so they end up, like, helping Najimi, like, work on his school stuff. Well, I say they help, but it's more like Komi just kind of studies. Tadano helps because he also hasn't done some of his work. And then Tadano's sister is just kind of there to read a book and just kind of hang out with everybody since there's people in her house. And then Yamai just kind of stares at Komi. Because of course she does. But then Komi gets a little sad that summer break is nearly over, and it was really cute. But for the most part, the cram session was, yet again, the Najimi show. This show might as well be the Najimi show, because I feel like a lot of the scenes Najimi's in, they just steal the show. Najimi's just so great. Najimi's just best character. Not so much best character in the show, but my personal favorite. Najimi's just the best. They're just the best. But, yeah, the Tadano Komi ship is getting very intense. Like, just kiss. You just kiss. Like, there you see her, standing in a yukata. I don't know what rhymes with yukata. There's something about her. Anyway, just kiss. I just want them to kiss. I just want them to kiss. Just want them to kiss and get married and, like, hold hands and go out for, like, ice cream and shit. Just go out on a date. I just want to see them go to the movies and hold hands and be cute. That's it. Anyway, outro. And there you have it, everybody. That is gonna wrap it up for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and set notifications to all. Let all of AniTube know that you are here. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out our Discord so that you can actually be notified when new videos go up. And of course, you'll also be notified when we're streaming over on the other website that starts with a D. On top of being the best way to get notified for new videos, it's also a good place to discuss with fellow anime fans and stuff like that. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and join us over on the Discord, link down in the description. Also linked to the description is our Patreon page, and that, along with the join button right beside the sub button, are great ways to help keep this channel afloat. You will find our Patreon page for as little as $1. You can help keep this channel running. And of course, a big thank you I have to give to our masters of masters, the true legends, Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorans, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trapmaster, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for being so freaking cool. I really love and appreciate all of you guys for your tremendous support of this channel. And if you too would like to have your name shouted out at the end of videos, once again, go check out that Patreon link in the description or hit the join button right beside the sub button. Either way helps out a ton. And that's it for me. So until next time, clean your room. Just trust me, a clean room is a clean mind. Maybe do some Tai Chi. Maybe drink lots of water and brush your teeth. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.